We are approaching the business end of the season as Liverpool resume their Champions League campaign with a last 16 tie against Galatasaray this evening. The Reds arriving there in Istanbul fresh from FA Cup progress at Wolves on Friday. They are through tonight without their number one though. Alisson Becker has not made the trip over to Turkey. That means Giorgi Mamardashvili gets a start at the ground, where he actually made a substitute appearance back in September. Tonight's opponents, there they are here thanks to an eventful 7-5 aggregate victory over Juventus in the playoffs. That was settled in extra time a fortnight ago, and their main man, Victor Osimhen, scored against Arne Slot's side in the club's previous meeting 5.5 months ago. It is an early kick-off for this one. We will have live audio commentary of all the action from 5:45 UK time. Yeah, welcome along to tonight's Matchday Live. There is lots for Ray Houghton and Neil Mellor here in the studio to get stuck into after we get the full rundown of the Liverpool team news. Peter McDowell is over in Istanbul with that right now. Pete.
Yeah, here we go again, Becky. 5 months on from the last trip here, one of the most intense atmospheres you will get in international or European football, and it's about 25 kilometres away from the most famous scene of a Champions League final. But this is Rams Park. You will sample this as we come to you tonight, just how loud this can get. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But Liverpool in just over an hour's time, really up against it. Galatasaray in some really decent form, and they believe that this could be their big chance to take a lead to Anfield as well. 4 changes from the team in the FA Cup the other night. Let's confirm that for you. And of course the big headline being around the absence of Alisson Becker. So Mamardashvili comes in goal, came into this cauldron in September, you'll remember. It will feel like another big opportunity for him. Has to be ready. Alisson missed 7 weeks when he was injured here last time about. He's only had 1 appearance though since November. Liverpool's number 2 goalkeeper. And then it's Joe Gomez coming through at right back for Liverpool tonight. Kanate and Virgil van Dijk and Milos Kerkez, Gravenberch, McAllister and Szoboszlai. That familiarity in the Liverpool midfield. Salah, Wirtz and Ekitike completes the 11 for Liverpool here tonight. We have Sammy Lee, European Cup winner, with us here tonight, who's sampling this for the first time. Yeah. It's loud, it's intense, it's going to be a really tough night for the Reds.
It's loud, it's intense, and it's just passion. Well, listen, we've had experienced this before, not too long ago, this team again in this atmosphere. And listen, I'm sure they're ready to prepare for what's going to come at them tonight on the pitch and off the pitch. These are nights what you dream about, playing in Europe, under the lights. Wow, listening to the intensity. It's only half full, there's an hour and a half to go yet. Incredible.
Obviously the goalkeeper is the main talking point. It was when it was revealed yesterday that he wouldn't travel. It sounds more positive than we were expecting, in the sense that he's not expected it to be a big thing, Arne Slot, but it's a monumental blow nonetheless.
It is, because as I say, it's about tonight, and Arnie said last night in his press conference that he expects them to be ready for the weekend. Hopefully that'll be the case. It's about tonight. But as you so rightly said, Peter, Mamardashvili came in the last game in September when he got into the keeper got into last time. So it's important that we get him a lot of confidence, a lot of respect, and I'm sure he'll produce the goods for us tonight.
It's ironic, isn't it, that we're a year on from that virtuoso performance against PSG, where he gave Liverpool that great platform to go on into the latter stages. If Liverpool do have serious designs on that, they will want to get him back sooner rather than later.
Oh, for sure. But again, I repeat, Pete, it's about tonight. And if you remember the last game, he made 2 fantastic saves very early on in the game. But as we said, Mamardashvili's had to step in now. So let's give him confidence. Let's go with what we've got tonight.
And in terms of the formation, the selection as well, it's an ambitious attacking-looking team, isn't it? There have been some speculation beforehand. Would he even be tempted to go without Ekitike tonight and almost go with it with a 0 up top and solidify that midfield? Yeah,
but thankfully he's gone strong. I'm made up with that, to be honest. Joe's gone in the right back, which we all like to see, a right back at right back. So I think it shows you the intent of Arne that he's gone out with. I think we'd all say, apart from 1 or 2, is the strongest side. Obviously one being the keeper. And Isaac, obviously, so going strong, start strong. Let's get a good result here tonight.
I asked him in the interview, which you'll hear in a second, about what kind of moments he felt Liverpool were in at the moment. And, you know, he feels positive. He feels as though they are in a great moment to come here. But he says, I've felt this before, and we are, if anything, you know, consistently inconsistent.
Yes, very true. But listen, keep the faith on. He said, like, you know, he'd been here before, and again, I repeat, it's about what we do tonight. We just come on the back of a good result, the result against Wolves. So tonight is a different game, different competition. This seems to suit our style of play this season. So hopefully, again, we come out tonight with a positive result. And by that, Peter, the same old Samuel Lee saying, clean sheet, because he already mentioned it last night, crucial for Liverpool.
And also the fact that they are 3 games a week at the moment, and you know as a coach that there's very little time on the green grass when you're as successful a team as Liverpool. So they have to be creative. Lots of what they've done wrong is being signalled to them and shown to them in this video analysis of how do you turn that ball possession into big chances in stadiums like this.
Exactly, you mentioned the game last night because it is crucial. They haven't got a lot of time on the grass because they're spent in rest and recovery. But again, that's why you have a massive pre-season. And as you so rightly said before, what will happen is that they'll be going analysing games on film, on video, and having one-on-ones, team meetings. All the preparation will be done more or less in the film room, you know, and in the meeting rooms. Because I say the fitness is there, as they've proven. It's just a case now of executing our game plan.
He also said that it's nice to have choices, and he does have choices in the full-back positions at both sides. He'll have a plan tonight, you imagine, for 95, 96 minutes as to how to see this through with a positive result.
In fairness, he always has done, hasn't he? You know, he's made changes at the same time because he listens to his sports scientists, he listens to the analytics, you know, and I said, as he so rightly said to us last night, he's pleased that he's got options in certain positions, which he hasn't had all season. So again, a lot of positivity coming out of his press conference last night. I just hope it impacts upon the game tonight.
From one midfielder to another as well, to get that contract signed and sealed for Ryan Gravenberch represent good news for you?
Oh, fantastic, because I think he's been one of the outstanding players of the last 2 or 3 seasons. Very, very pleased for him. Because as a player, all you want is, you know, continuity, you know what I mean, and confirmation that they have respected him. Do you appreciate what he's doing? His contract's done and dusted. Fantastic for the guy. Let's see him go out now and play with Kay Abandon.
But we hope it's a successful one tonight. I caught up with Arne Slot a little earlier, and he was reflecting on the game back in September and agreed that it was one settled by very fine margins.
Yeah, as it's been so many times this season, fine margins. Yeah, we lost 1-0, as we all know, from a penalty. Bit soft. Would never been given in the Premier League. Not even sure in the Champions League. And of course, we got one 5 or 10 minutes before the end, which was overturned, which was also not the first time this season that a decision that finally went in our favour was overturned. And throughout the whole game, I think the same could be said. So 2 penalty incidents that didn't went our way, and the rest of the game was quite small margins. Both teams were fighting, and there was not a lot between the teams in terms of who was better than the other.
A late disruption with Alisson not making the trip, that is a big blow for any team.
Yeah, of course. We all know what a goalkeeper Alisson is. So he was training with us. Unfortunately, he felt something in the end. Yeah, and wasn't able to travel with us. So that's a disappointment for him, for us. Now the good thing is, of course, that we've signed last season a very, very, very good goalkeeper with Georgi Mamadashvili, and wasn't cheap. As we all know, but as a result of that, we have a good one. And the last time he had to come in and play here as well because Ali got injured here, and now he needs to start. So nice moment for him, but of course we are unhappy with the fact that Alisson isn't with us here tomorrow.
You mentioned the word moment. What moment do you feel the team is in at the moment? A good one?
Yeah, but I felt it more often that we were in a good moment. Too many times this season I didn't get what I expected to get. So when we were in good moments where I felt on the training ground, now we are ready to make the next step. Then for all different reasons we were not able to keep that momentum. Sometimes because of our own fault, sometimes for different reasons. As I just mentioned, how we conceded a penalty over here. So yeah. We haven't found a consistent way of performing yet, or maybe we are inconsistent, and that's not something that's good in the final stages of the season, because if you want to achieve something, you need to be so consistent in both legs, and of course in the FA Cup and in the Premier League that are coming up. So we need to raise our level, not our level, but our consistency, and hopefully our level a little bit as well.
The thoughts of the boss there, Arne Slot. Welcome to you two. It feels like this is the stage where it gets exciting, Neil. At the last 16, if you like, how much are you looking forward to tonight?
Well, exactly that. The Champions League, we've enjoyed it for many years. We've enjoyed the group stage, certainly last year, the new format, this year as well. The fact that we finished so strongly, I thought that was important to put ourselves in a position to avoid being in the playoffs. Ultimately, our opposition tonight, Galatasaray, they were in the playoffs, and that battle now, for me, the way we finished in the top 8, I think that's an achievement. And I think any year you finish in the top 8, it will be an achievement, because you look at the big teams who miss out. A lot of big teams, Real Madrid missed out, PSG, Inter Milan, Dortmund, they all want to be in the top 8. And ultimately, a few of them have gone by the wayside because of the playoff games. We earned the right to be in the top 8, but when you're looking at the teams left in the tournament, you're thinking, we've got a job on our hands to win it this year. There's no clear favourite. When you look at the Champions League of previous years, you think Real Madrid have maybe been the side. There is no clear favourite this year. And I think there's 5 or 6 teams, including ourselves, who think we have got a good chance. Got to get through this tie against Galatasaray, which we're strong favourites for. We have to say that. And I've enjoyed the Champions League this year. I don't know about you, Ray, but really enjoyed the Champions League games. It's felt a little bit more open. The Premier League's had a little bit of criticism with certainly the style. It's been different to the Champions League. And we performed well away this year. We got turned over in Galatasaray early in the season. We actually did all right. That could have gone either way. Yeah. But the other games have been really good away from home.
A feisty atmosphere is guaranteed. You could hear even over an hour before kick-off when we were hearing from Pete and Sammy earlier, Ray, it's building up already. But these are the nights that you live for as players and as fans as well.
Well, we're lucky we went there as early as we did, because I can tell you in half an hour's time we'll be raucous in there.
We won't be going back there.
Yeah, well, then you'll hear what it's really like. I mean, I've been out there for matches, commentating, and been there international games as well, and it is unbelievable. You know, the way that the fans support their team is unbelievable. You know, they've played Liverpool already this season, and they've got the 1-0 victory. What's good for Liverpool, they've been there, so they know what the atmosphere is going to be like. They know what going onto the pitch, what the noise is going to be like, how you try and block out. That's really important.
I was going to say, because that recent experience, that has to help, right? Only 5 months ago.
Yeah, because if you go there, you've not been there before, many people can tell you about it, but until you sample it yourself, you don't really know what it's all about. Yeah. But once you've been there, you're going, OK, right, I know what I can do now. Walking out onto the pitch, trying, you know, don't let the crowd affect you as much as you can. Just focus on your own game, who you're playing against, what he's good at, what can I do to stop him throughout the game. They're in good form at the moment. You know, they've came off the back of qualifying against Juventus 7-5, which was incredible. 2 matches of football. It was end-to-end stuff. They gave it away, they scored, and eventually, you know, they've come through over the 2 legs. But forget about what's happened in the group stages. I know when they were saying it is an achievement to get into the top, but you've got to forget about that. All you've done is place yourself into the position that you're in now, which is to get into the last 16 of the competition. Now is where it comes down to the nitty-gritty. Yeah. How do you handle yourself in the matches that are upcoming? How do you get through to the next stage? And that's what it's all about. You know, you get a good result tonight, you take into that second leg next Wednesday, and then all of a sudden, you know, you're in a very strong position. Yeah, but you look at the teams that are in there, and the quality of sides, it's absolutely phenomenal. You know, it doesn't matter where you look, it's going to be tough to get through. You're always going to be playing against very, very good sides. Yeah,
we can now kind of map out a potential route, Neil. It's fair to say Liverpool's side of the draw is the tougher side of the draw when you look at, say, Arsenal's side of the draw, for example. But what are your thoughts on the last 16 as a whole, and of course the potential of either Paris Saint-Germain or Chelsea in the next round if we are to get through?
Well, I think the focus has to be to get through. The last thing the lads or anybody needs to be thinking about is what's next, PSG or Chelsea. I'll tell you what it does say to me, though, is we've got some exciting nights left at Anfield between now and the end of the season. You know, you think PSG, what happened last season, went to penalties. If it is to be PSG, what an atmosphere that will be. If we get through that, you're thinking Bayern Munich. You know, there's a lot of big games left to play for. And with this competition, we've had great success in the past. And as I mentioned earlier, there is no clear favourite for this. Yes, our side of the draw looks a lot tougher, but it's about the timing of those games as well. So the timing of this game feels good in terms of Galatasaray away. The lads will feel better on the back of that result against Wolves in the FA Cup. And then when we're playing PSG, which we think it might be, that's on the back of that FA Cup game against City. Where will we be? Where will we be on the back of that FA Cup away game at City? Because that's the first leg, which will be away at PSG. They'll probably be playing Bayern Munich as well. I expect City to get through the game against Real Madrid. So a lot can change between now and then. But there's a lot to look forward to.
I honestly, when I look at the games that you've just put up on the screen, I can't tell you who's going to win.
Yeah.
Because, as Neil said earlier on, which is absolutely right, there's no favourite this season. I think once you got through and we've seen how PSG played against Liverpool over the two legs, you could look at it and go, they've got real quality. You know, this is the side that are on the up, and they're the ones that you've got to look out for between now and the end of the campaign, the most likely one to win it. At the moment, I don't see anyone. I mean, there's a lot of muchness between the sides. I think everyone's quite as good as each other when you look at it.
Which makes it exciting.
It makes it extreme. Look, listen, I've really enjoyed the change and how they've delivered the Champions League, because I think you get better games, and then obviously you look at the quality that's there when you get through to. I don't always like the format. You already know who you're going to get in the last
a lot of people aren't a fan of being able to see that.
I'm not a fan of that. I'd still like to see the draw. I still think there's something about the draw.
I think Arsenal were happy with it though, weren't they?
Yeah, there's one or two teams would be happy. But overall, you know, all you've got to concentrate is the game tonight and the second leg. That's the most important. Forget whatever happens after that. That will look after itself. But tonight is usually important. The atmosphere will be unbelievable. You've got to handle that. You want players out there who've been there, seen it, done it, who know what it's all about, and they can go out there with the focus and the knowledge of how to defend in the right areas. Liverpool's away form in the Champions League in the group stage was brilliant. They only lost the one game against Galatasaray. The other three, I thought they gave a masterclass. You know, when we looked, it was at Marseille, Frankfurt and Inter Milan. I thought they were superb in all them three games. They got the tactics absolutely spot on. The players all done the job that was required, and that's what they're going to have to do tonight as well.
Yeah, we've seen some nice scenic shots of Istanbul here. I doubt the players have had too much time to take in too much of the sight smells. But just in terms of the team news, let's focus on tonight. A little bit of a surprise that Alisson didn't make the trip. A slight injury, which thankfully we believe is not too serious. But it will be Georgi Mamardashvili who takes his place. Came on actually as a sub for Ali in that first game 5 months ago. But he's proved himself quite a few times now a worthy deputy, if you like.
Well, it's a blow. We have to say that. Alisson has made some big saves at key moments. Even the game against Galatasaray, made 2 big saves in that game to keep us in it. Unfortunately, has picked up a knock. I don't know how serious that will be. I don't know how many games he will miss. There's a couple of games left before the international break, and then on the back of the international break, there's a really, really tough period of fixtures in 2 weeks. So I'm hoping he'll be back available. Opportunity for Mamardashvili. He came highly rated, obviously, from his time at Valencia. His last game was Barnsley, which was, 7 or 8 weeks ago in the FA Cup. The game before that was PSV. So he hasn't had a lot of football in terms of that. He's probably been a bit frustrated that in previous years, you think, Kelleher has always come in for the cup games. He's sort of had to sit out the Brighton one. He sat out the Wolves one, probably wanting that game time. It hasn't come. But now is an opportunity for him to come between it. I like him. You know, obviously he came with a big reputation. We know Alisson is the best, but now it's an opportunity for Mamardashvili. It
is indeed, Ray. Let's speak about the return of Florian Wirtz as well. First time he's started since the Brighton game, which was 3.5 weeks ago. And I think that a no-brainer, if you like, to say it's a massive boost to have.
Yeah, absolutely. Well. I mean, Florian's actually got better as the season's gone on, and he was out the team at the wrong time. And you have to look at the dip in form. And there was a relationship between that. But when he's in the side, you know, particularly in away games like this, you want to get him on the ball as often as possible. It'll be interesting to see what position he takes up as well in the game, because when you look at the dynamic, Liverpool going to go with 2 number 10s? Are they going to play him in a wide position? I think he's better in a central role and give him that freedom to find positions. I think at times where I've been critical of him a little bit is he's always running around to find the ball. I think when you've got his ability, just stand still. Just stand in the position, which is the best position, and let your teammates find you with the ball. And then when you're in that position, then you get turned on. And that's when you can sort out the passes for the likes of Salah, for Ekitike. He's got that vision, he's got that awareness, he's got that ability. So I would like to see him in a central role rather than a wide role. So we'll see when the game starts exactly where he's going to play. And
the chance to build some momentum as well. I think really important looking back on those 2 Wolves games to get that victory in the second one after what was obviously a really disappointing performance in the first game.
Yeah, it was a disappointing performance. I mean, Liverpool should have won it. I mean, look at the chances-wise. They were far ahead of Wolves, and Wolves had about 2 shots in goal and scored from both of them. It can happen in football. That's just the way sometimes it goes, and you have to realise it's not always going to be your day. But then to come back in the manner that they did in the cup match was just typical of Liverpool. Change the team around, and all of a sudden, you know, some of the lads that have been patient on the sidelines got their opportunity, and we've seen there with Robbo, great finish. I mean, that's precise strike with his left foot into the far corner, gave the goalkeeper no chance. And this is what that. See, look at one of the difference I've seen with Liverpool in this game to the game against Wolves in the league. Look how many red shirts in the box. I don't think we were getting enough in there. You know, when crosses were going in, there wasn't enough players in the area where you could finish it off and get the chances. But here, it was a different mentality about them. Just look at it. There's 6-7 players in and around the 18-yard box, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for players who want to get into that final third, to be creative and take on the opportunities to try and score the goals.
Yeah, it was a good win to take into this game tonight. Right, we can hear now from the man who put pen to paper on a new long-term contract over the weekend. Here is Ryan Gravenberch.
Feel really good. Also really proud to extend my contract, and I did such a big club, so I'm really happy that I can stay here for many more years.
How easy a decision was it for you and your family?
Yeah, really easy, to be honest. No, I felt directly the trust from the club, also from the manager. So yeah, the decision for me was easy to make. My family is also happy here. I'm now here almost 3 years, so I know everything already. So I'm happy that I'm here.
You became a title winner here, a dad here. What does this club mean to you now?
Yeah, special place in my heart, of course. What you said, I became a dad here. Also won the title with Liverpool, and yeah, I think there are no better days than that. So I'm really happy that I'm here.
Does it feel like home now? And there's plenty of Dutch people here too.
Yeah, of course. What you said, there's plenty of Dutch people. Obviously, we have Cody, Jeremy, and Verge, the coaching staff as well. So yeah, it's easy to communicate with them, and it's nice to have them here. So yeah.
Just how different a player are you from the one that arrived nearly 3 years ago?
Good question. No, I've learned a lot, of course. When I came here, I had to adapt to everything. New country, new club, met new people. And now it's, yeah, what I said, it's like a big family. I know everything. As a player, I think I improved a lot. I became a better version of myself as well. So, yeah, I got a lot from Liverpool.
He is happy to be here for the long term. Ryan Gravenberch, you can see that full interview with him actually right now on All Red Video. But just your reaction, Mels, to that news. Brilliant news, no other word for it.
Yeah, absolutely good news. I think when you hear him talk there, you can see his maturity. You know, he arrived as a young player from Bayern Munich. I think we wanted him before he went to Bayern Munich. He's eventually arrived. He's still only 23. You know, he's played a lot of football internationally and also here at Liverpool. He's made himself that first team player and a really important part of what's going forward for Liverpool. It was a new midfield when he arrived. He arrived with McAllister and Szoboszlai in that midfield. What I would say is he arrived as I thought he was an 8, maybe somebody who has that mobility, box to box, maybe can play higher up, maybe can score goals. And that first season, he didn't really start a lot of games in Jurgen's last season, but as soon as Arne Slot came in, he identified that we needed a 6. And for whatever reason, whether somebody else was going to come in or not, Ryan was the player, so he's shown that intelligence to be able to adapt to a role and was magnificent in a title-winning season. He was absolutely magnificent. We've done the review show every week, and it was a Ryan Gravenberch section every week because he was just so good. Because he reads the game so well, he has that intelligence to adapt to a new position at the base of that midfield. He will score goals, as he's proven again this season. But yeah, I really like his game intelligence, and somebody so young, he's going to flourish even more at Liverpool. Yeah, we're seeing some of his highlights here, Ray, in that defensive midfield position. I mean, it's something that the boss deserves great credit for in helping him transform into that player.
Well, he reinvented himself, didn't he?
Ryan himself, too.
Yeah, he reinvented him as a player. He's gone from someone who was meant to be an attacking midfielder, creative, score goals, to someone who can sit in front of the back four and do an outstanding job. And it's great as well for someone who's a really nice lad. That comes across loud and clear in his interviews. He's a really nice lad, and really good things are happening for him. It's great, you know. And he should be a mentor to youngsters. You know how you can change your position on the pitch, and you know go on to have a fabulous career. And I'm delighted for him because everything that he does, he's very professional, very honest, very astute in the areas that he picks up on the pitch. I think he can do even more. I think he's got that ability to do even more. I think at times he's probably just sitting back a little bit. But as Ian just said there about him, he's only 23.
Yeah,
he's only a kid, still learning the game, and he'll get better and better. The longer he's at the club, more he plays in that position, he'll understand it more and more. And he's only going to go one way, and that's up. And the fans love him. His teammates love him. He loves being part of Liverpool Football Club, and he's going to have a very successful time.
Ray, I wonder as well how much influence Virgil's had on him. Obviously, the captain for Liverpool, his international teammate as well. When he was so young, Ryan, when he arrived at 20 years old, he needs those sort of leaders around the dresser. I think Virgil must have had a big influence on him, helping him settle in at Liverpool.
You know, when you were a youngster, Neil, when you were coming through, you had older players that would help you along the way. That's part of the job of being an experienced player. You know, it's not just to be the captain, it's to lead. You've got to lead by example to all the players around you, how to be a professional, how to look after yourself, how to train in the right manner, make sure off the pitch you do all the right things to get yourself in the best shape possible to go out and play. And when you see him, that's exactly what it was. So you need a mentor, and that is Virgil van Dijk. He's leading all these young lads at the club in how to be a professional footballer at Liverpool, to get the right standards required, to go out there and get moments like this when you're picking up the trophy. And you just see the Dutch boys together. They're very chilled out, aren't they, lads? You know, nothing phases them. You know, they just love playing football. They want to be successful, and they've joined in really well. And something he said in his interview, and you don't always take it in, and that is he's coming to a different country. You know, he's bringing his family over,
though, isn't it?
and everyone expects you, just because you're a professional footballer, straight away you're going to walk in and you're going to be sensational straight away. It doesn't work that way. You've got to acclimatise, you've got to get yourself right, you've got to get all your family situations in the right positions, so you get them all in a row, and then you go, right, I'm ready to go and play. And that's what it was, and he's just changed from a player that came in that was an attacking player, and now he's adjusted to the position that he's playing now, and he's been a revelation.
And he's got his best years ahead of him. You know, Ray said there, of course, at his age, he has got so much still to come, and he very much kind of fits the profile of the player that the FSG want to secure at Liverpool for the long term now.
I also think he's got flexibility with where he can play in that midfield. We've seen him as well, occasionally at centre-half, which certain games he might be asked to play that. He's so comfortable at driving with the ball, at dribbling, so he offers something slightly different to the other midfield players. And if somebody else might sit, whether it's McAllister or somebody like that, he has the licence to really drive forward and try and break the lines with the way that he likes to move forward. I think I honestly think he's a player who can hit double figures for Liverpool at some point in his career.
Yeah, well, he's certainly improved in that department, if you like, this year.
Yeah, he has, there's no doubt. If you look at the positions he takes up, he's not sitting back in a defensive position. You know, when needed, he can get forward. And that's why you need people who are adaptable. Like, so if it's Alexis that goes back and plays in the number 6 role while Ryan goes forward, or Dominic does it, but you've got to be able to rotate. It's all about communication. If you see someone running forward, you communicate, I'm going to make the run forward, you make sure you fill in my position. It is fairly simple, but it doesn't happen often enough in football. Certainly what I've seen with Liverpool this season, they've been able to do that. They'll be able to adjust in matches to rotating around with the midfield players and letting other players get forward and showcase the talent what they've got. Because over the ground, Neil, how quick is Ryan over the ground?
I was going to say
he's lightning quick. You know, he's not just quick; he's lightning quick. I mean, the way he breaks up play, because he sees situations quickly and he's on top of it with his pace, or ball will come into it and he'll take it away from a player because he's that quick on the ball. Others can't do it. The other players can't do what he can do. That's what makes him unique in certain situations.
Yeah, we are happy to have him with us for the long term, Ryan Gravenberch. Right, let's get the full details on the Galatasaray starting 11 now. We'll rejoin Peter McDowell over in Turkey.
Yeah, thanks, Becky. It's not the iconic Ali Sami Yen Stadium anymore, but we were delayed coming to you because of the light show that they have in reference and in preparation for the players coming out for the warm-up here. The Turkish champions, and have been for the last 3 seasons running, coming up against the English champions here tonight, and they are well up for the challenge that lies in their way. They finished with 10 points in 20th position across the group stages of Champions League. they think this could be their big night here a bit later on. Let's look at their team then and have that confirmed for you. And they have Ushan Jakir in goal. Kept a clean sheet last time out against Besiktas. That was their first in 7 games in League and Cup. And then it looks like a back four of Wilfred Singo, Davison Sanchez. This is his 9th time facing Liverpool. Only 1 win to show for it in Tottenham colours across all of those years back in 2017. Ulash Bardakatshir, the captain, alongside him. And Ismail Jakobs completes that back four. And then a couple of players that you'll be all too familiar with. Lucas Torreira, one time of Arsenal, scored as an Arsenal player actually back in 2019 in a 5-5 League Cup draw at Anfield. And Mario Lemina alongside him, the former Fulham, Southampton and Wolves man. And then it's that really dangerous looking 3 behind the lone striker, Barış Yilmaz. 10 goals. The player Dominic Soboslai was adjudged to have caught in the face in the last game between these two, the one that led to the goal from the penalty spot. Then it's Loa Long and Gabriel Sara in the 10th position in support of the main danger man, Victor Osimhen. 18 goals this season. He got 37 last campaign. Scored in the 60th minute here, you'll remember, from the spot back in September, and scored one of the goals to kill Juventus off last time out. Barış Yilmaz got the other. They've scored 20 goals, this team, in their last 5 games. And then, should they need it from the bench, the likes of Mauro Icardi with his 15 goals already. Leroy Sané, who was sent off at the weekend, he's got 4 goals in his last 8 against Liverpool, all with Manchester City. And then Gundogan as well, 15 games against Liverpool, mainly as a Man City player, as the Reds battled for all of the big major honours. So plenty of experience there, plenty of experience alongside us here tonight in the form of Sammy Lee. And everything you hear, the rhetoric around this game is that with the tightrope they're walking and everything else, they won't have fans at Anfield. They're going to have a real good go at the Reds tonight.
Oh, they'll come out. This set of fans will demand it, Peter. As we said before, they're passionate, they're volatile. You know, they want to see the team on the front foot from the minute one. But as we said before, this team of ours have had the experience in September. You know what to expect both on and off the pitch. So hopefully there'll be no surprises. Particularly with a quick start from Galatasaray. We've got to be ready for it. We've got to be prepared for it. I'm sure Arnie and his backroom staff will have the guys ready.
Mentioned as well, 20 goals in the last 5 games, but Liverpool have got a really decent set of clean sheets in Champions League as well, which will hopefully serve them well.
Well, we keep on talking about that, Peter. It's crucial because from that basis, you can go in any game, you know. And as I said to you, for me, with the talent we've got up front, you know, we're always going to score goals. But we've got to be totally aware, fully aware of their threat. We've got great pace up front. Osimhen, as you said before, 18 goals in all competitions. He's going to be a threat. So we have to nullify that threat and then make sure that we impact our game plan upon them.
Osimhen is a real dangerman, the most expensive player in Turkish football history. It's who they pin their hopes on tonight, you would think.
Yes, I think so. You know, he came from Napoli. We know what a danger it is. But again, all I will say to you, for us, there's no surprises. The guys, once the kick-off comes, they'll be fully prepared because they know what to expect. They're going to come at us, they're going to be bright, they're going to be on the front foot, they're going to be in our faces. We've got to move the ball quicker, nullify their threat, and hopefully get chances. Because we created chances in the last game here. It's just a case of converting them chances into goals.
There was all kinds of distractions available for Sammy Lee today, none of which he took them up on. Instead, you were watching the game back from September. With what happened in that game back in September, will Liverpool have learned from and need to do better in this one tonight?
I think, as you said before, we had a lot of possession. Arne mentioned last night, in this modern day football, it doesn't always convert into goals. We've got to make sure when we create chances that we capitalise them and score. Also, we've got to make sure we move the ball quicker. No chances at the back. If you remember, our goalkeeper got into last time because of sloppy play from the back, sloppy back pass to him. He overstretched, injured his hamstring. We've got to make sure that doesn't happen tonight. And can we keep this crowd quiet?
You might be able to see just over to Sammy's right-hand side there, Arne Slot is being interviewed just prior to kick-off. That is the reason for the boos that you hear at the moment. Excuse me, and let's stick with him, Sammy, because He spoke, Arne Slot, in the lead up to this about the real grittiness of Galatasaray. We saw the fright that they gave to Juventus and survived some really tough moments, survived with 10 men at the weekend to win a big game as well.
Exactly, as you said. So they've got grit, they've got determination, and with this crowd behind them, this is going to be a difficult task. But again, I keep on repeating, this is what you live for. This is what football's all about. European nights under the lights. Let's get a good result tonight. Take them back to Anfield next week, and that's when we'll come into our fore with our supporters, because, as you said before, they can't have any supporters at Anfield.
He's having to put an earpiece in, Arne Slot, to be able to hear the questions. It's so loud inside here. Another point of interest as well, guys, Spanish referee tonight by the name of Jesus Manzano. He's got a job on his hand. We talked about Victor Osimhen, one of 6 players that are on yellow card tightrope tonight. Should they be booked, they would miss the game at Anfield. Both centre-backs, both strikers in there as well. This referee, in his 5 Champions League games, has shown 14 yellow cards, 3 reds, and awarded 4 penalties. It could be dramatic.
Oh, the atmosphere is building, isn't it? Right, time now for us to leave those of you watching us on social media right now. If you do want to continue, though, with our build-up on LFC TV and All Red Video too, you can find details right now of how you can become a subscriber. They're online, liverpoolfc.com/watch. Lots more to come before kick-off, both here in the studio and, of course, back to Rams Park as well, including an interview with Alexis McAllister, European Cup-winning captain. Phil Thompson will be in the commentary box alongside Steve Hunter at 5:45 UK time. That before the post-match show, which is with you from 7:45. That is also available to listen to as an official LFC podcast later on this evening. That is when that will drop. Then the full match replay is at midnight tonight, and there's more in-depth analysis of the game's key talking points with Neil Mellor in the review show at 6 o'clock tomorrow.